Hi guys, welcome back to Willow's Witchy Garden. I know it's been a little bit. I haven't done a video in about a week or so, but I wanted to get back out into the garden and show you what's going on, especially with my green stalks. Both of them are doing great and I'm just excited to show you the progress. I've torn out a lot of things in the garden because a lot of things were just starting to die off because of the hot and wet weather that we've been having recently. So let's get out into the garden and I'll show you what I've been up to. So let's get started right away with the green stalks. I am so excited. As you may know, earlier in the year, I lost well over 30 plants that were my pepper plants, and that was all to a bacterial wilt. And now I have gone ahead and replanted. I replanted a lot of seeds, so I had a lot of seed starts for the pepper plants, but I also purchased a few plants as well over at the Home Depot and Lowe's. So I do have more pepper plants out here, but I am so excited to see the progress here. The green stalk is doing phenomenal. I have pulled out the beans. They were not producing anything. Thing is just too hot for those, but I had some bug damage, so you may see some of the white powder residue left here from my bug dust. I used Captain Jack's organic bug dust to kill off a lot of things, but I did rinse it off, but for some reason it didn't rinse off real well on the planter itself. So anyway, but I just wanted to show you the progress. You can see the damage that I was getting. I have a lot of holes on my plants, and that was from some of these worms that I had caught on here. You can see they just munched away on some of my leaves, but I have managed to subdue all of those and get rid of them. And I just keep watching this every day, and I will sprinkle more dust on if I have to. It seems to work better than the neem oil or the BT spray that I was using because we get so much rain. But just wanted to show you, this is a Gypsy Pepper. This is one that I have purchased. You know, I purchased a start, but you can see I've got lots of little flowers on there. We have lots of bees. So I'm getting a lot of pollination finally, and I am getting peppers. Let's see, let's show you some of the peppers that are growing. Let's see, oh, here we go. So if we can look in here, and we can focus on that. We got little tiny babies. I am so excited. So yeah, I'm actually getting peppers again, and I am elated about that. The other thing I did was, because I had one of the tomato plants completely was eaten up by one of those big worms, and it wasn't tomato hornworms either. They were just a black, like, cutworm, I guess they were, but they were just devouring everything. So I planted some calendula in here. I do love my calendula, and that was something that I really was starting to miss because a lot of mine died. Here's a green bell pepper. Let's see if we can get that focused in. There we go. So yeah, I'm getting peppers and I'm so excited. But yeah, like this poor Murasaki, it was doing so good and now it just got chewed up. But I'm keeping my eye on it. I'm not letting things kill it. Oh, look at what we have here. Can you see that right there? It's another worm. So we're just gonna pick him off and get rid of that guy. And I guess I'm gonna have to come out here with my dust again. Yeah, you gotta stay on top of these because they're sneaky. Got little worms and big worms. So the cucumbers are doing really, really well in the green stalk too. I'm loving how they're vining down. And these are Dar and Miniature White cucumbers. I do have a little yellowing on the leaves. I'm gonna give them some fish emulsion, see if they'll green back up for me a bit. But they're really covered in lots of flowers, and generally every morning I come out here, they're just loaded with bees. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm like really waiting to see what kind of cucumbers I'm gonna get off of these plants. But this is that second Greenstalk, and checking for worms out here again. But as you can see, some of these little tiny pepper buds are starting to come on the plants. So very happy about that. Overall, everything is doing really well. I've been even harvesting on all of the basil plants that are planted in here. I've harvested some of my Tulsi already, and it looks like it's already growing enough that I could probably harvest some more on it. So yeah, very happy about the Greenstalks. And as you can see, these poor plants, this is my other calendula that I had from earlier this year, and they're just dying off. So I'm going to be taking these pots off of here and pulling the plants and probably changing out that soil just in case there's some sort of, you know, pest or issue in here that I need to get rid of so I don't spread it to any new plants. But just check out this cucumber. This thing is going crazy. It came through the fence, and I know a lot of this is all dying off. I don't even really see any more cucumbers on here, so I'm going to be pulling all of these. But it's kind of sad that this vine just took off, and now we're going to have to end up pulling him out and putting in some new plants. But yeah, lots of stuff dying off. It's that time of year, getting ready to go for my second planting of tomatoes and other things come August. So yeah, little by little, got to pull out so that you pull out the plants so you have more room to put more. This is my pineapple sage, and it has a little bit of pest damage, but not too bad. I am waiting. I think this is going to probably flower, but it has grown. It was just a tiny start when I got it a couple of months ago, and this thing has taken off. I have it in a 3-gallon grow bag is all, and this thing is huge. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can do with this. It smells just like pineapple, and I absolutely love it. Now, I have a lot of other things going on in here. Pest damage on all of my okra, and yet I'm still getting okra. But I have been using dust. I've been using the Captain Jack's dead bug dust, and it's helping to the point that I'm at least now getting okra on these plants. But I've pulled out a lot of different things. Like I got rid of all the beans that were over here and just really had to start tearing things out. I didn't want it to carry on and bring more disease to the garden. But I have lots of growth still going on here. These marigolds are going crazy. It's like you can't kill a marigold once they're this big, because I've killed a lot of smaller ones this year. But oh yeah, and I got to show you this. This is my other jalapeno. Lots of flowers on it. I have actually been getting peppers on this one, and I see some new little tiny ones growing on there. So hopefully we'll get some of those too again. I just picked 3 the other day, and I'm happy about that. Let's see, what do we got here? I did plant a tomato here. This is a sunrise bumblebee. Not sure if it's going to make it or not, but I think I told you before, I either could get it out of the 4-inch pot and plant it or just let it die. So I went ahead and planted it. And my ground cherries finally growing. I have another one over in the Greenstalk that I forgot to show you. I'll show you that in a minute. But it's doing really well, and it's got lots of little blossoms on it. Have a Jolene tomato here. It's a determinate. So if I get anything on it, I'll be happy because it is very hot right now. This is my Roulette Heatless Habanero. I do have some little tiny buds on it. Let's see if we can focus that a little bit so we can see the buds. But it does have some buds. I have not gotten any peppers off of it yet. We have, this is another I think this is sunrise bumblebee. And it's looking really healthy. So who knows what will happen. I find that the cherry tomatoes do a lot better in this heat than the larger types of tomatoes. Let's see. Oh yeah, I got to show you this too. I already got one scape off of my elephant garlic, and this is another one I'm going to have to cut off. I'm still not real sure about elephant garlic. This is the first year I'm growing it. I'm not sure when to harvest it. I know that the leaves haven't died back quite enough yet, so I don't think it's ready. So I'm just taking my time with it. Some beauty in the garden. This is the Datura. Look at these flowers. It just looks like it's dripping flowers, and I absolutely love it. They perk up a lot more at night, and then they kind of wilt during the day, but they're just so pretty. This is a chocolate pear tomato, and right now this is the largest tomato I have growing in the garden. It is in a 10-gallon grow bag, and I've kind of got it up there with that string that goes up to that hook, and I'm hoping that it'll just keep on growing and maybe I'll get some tomatoes off of it. Over here I have a Mammoth Jalapeno, and it does have some little tiny buds right there. If we can, maybe I can zoom in and focus on that a little bit. So they're really tiny right now, but I'm just glad to see that they have something that, you know, is actually going to produce some peppers. That makes me very happy. And boy, my basil needs to be harvested again. Just look at it. It gets crazy out here. Just amazing. I just love the basil. That is one thing I can say that I can always grow. Sometimes it might be hard to get them started, but boy, once they get started, they keep going. I did pull out my 2 largest eggplants. I don't know what was going on with them. They did have some yellowing on their bottom leaves. They just were not producing. They would give me flowers, and the flowers would just, well, drop off. So I have this one Antigua eggplant left, and it's dropping its flowers too. I don't know if I'm going to get any eggplants this year. It was the first year growing eggplants here at this location, and so I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's just the humidity. I don't know if they just don't like it. I'm not real sure. I'm just not having a whole lot of luck with the eggplant this year. Over here, this is where I had all my tomatoes earlier, and I have got some new tomatoes planted in here, some chocolate pears and some Bella Rosa and some sunrise bumblebees. So I do have more tomatoes in here growing. Down here, let's see if we can get in here and show ya. That right there are some Armenian cucumbers. I just planted those from seed like a week or 2 ago. They're really coming up. I don't know. I've got some damage on those leaves, but for the most part, you know, I'm just gonna see what happens with them. Some of my poor basil has been hit hard by insects, but some are still going strong. So I have to cut back what I have to when it, you know, dies off and keep moving forward. But I'm still getting pretty zinnias. Gotta love the zinnias. They are so beautiful. They just bring in so much color into the garden. They attract so many pollinators, and they get so tall. Just love it. Now this one over here, and I don't know why, just one flower. But this poor flower was just covered in aphids and ants that were harvesting the aphids the other day. I posted that video over on Instagram. It was crazy. None of the other flowers that had them on it, I didn't see them anywhere else, just on this one flower. So seems that the rain washed them off. So I see a few ants still crawling around, seeing if there's anything, I guess, that they can eat. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. But I just love coming in here and looking at all the little flowers that are just tucked in here and there. But yeah, just crazy. And look at these canna lilies that just grew wild in here next to that banana tree. Like, I love the canna lilies. I know that my landlord does not like canna lilies, but I do. I think they're beautiful. They give us these little tiny red flowers on this variety. So I do love them. Now, I did plant some Chinese noodle beans over here. They have been ravished by bugs and rodents. Something keeps eating them. They should be vining over this fence by now, but they just keep getting eaten. They just chew off the stems. So I would imagine it's probably some sort of rodent. And I'm sure we probably have some sort of bugs going on here too. I'm seeing some leaves, or on some eggs on these leaves. So I got to get back out here and dust or spray or do something with this. Yeah, it's a struggle in this heat and humidity. I got a wasp over here, but I don't mind the wasps. You know, a lot of people are afraid of them, but so long as I'm not bothering them, they tend not to bother me, which makes me happy. And yes, I grow dandelion, and I love dandelion. I don't see it as a weed. I just see it as a medicinal plant. And so I do have a few plants of that in here in the middle of this raised bed. And that could have been why my eggplant didn't grow. I'm not sure, but they grew. They just didn't produce any fruit. So I'm just not sure about that. I'm going to have to research that a bit. This is the ground cherry I was telling you that I had planted in the Greenstalk, and it's getting really big. I am going to have to put a net or something under it to capture all the fruit that falls, but it's just got all these little blossoms all over it, and they are so cute. I'm really enjoying this Greenstalk. Every single thing in here seems to be growing at such a better rate than even in my grow bags and in the raised beds that they were in. So very, very happy about this. Now, the other thing that I did with the Greenstalks is I did put worm castings in here. That is something that I hadn't used in the rest of the garden. I hadn't even put worm castings in the first Greenstalk that I set up. So I came back and I top dressed with some worm castings and kind of scratched it into the soil, and now they're starting to take off on that first Greenstalk as well. So now I have to fill in these empty spots that I pulled the beans out of, and yeah, I don't know what I'm going to put in there. It might be some more basil. I'm just not sure. Maybe more calendula. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I have a lot of African Nunum and a Cocoa Mesa starts. I'm going to have to start giving these things away or get some into the Greenstalks. But yeah, there's a lot of basil started here. And I've got more that I'm going to be transplanting out of their water because they've rooted today too. So yeah, I got a lot of things that I'm working on. Oh, look down here. This, I think, was a lemon basil. Oh, Chinese sweet basil. Well, that one didn't get into a pot fast enough. It's in this little tiny 4-inch pot, and it's already gone to flower, but such a pretty flower. I just love basil flowers. I guess the bees can enjoy this one. Well, I hope you enjoyed the garden tour today and the update on the Greenstalk. I hope if you're in an urban setting that you too are growing your own food, herbs, or flowers. And don't forget to give this video a like, give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate everyone that I get. I also would really appreciate anybody that wants to subscribe to my channel and help me get it to grow so I can reach more of you. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. I love to interact with you. And I love to find out about your gardens. And if there's a question, I'd love to help answer it, even if I have to do research to find you the answer. You can also follow me on Facebook and on Instagram at Willow's Witchy Garden. And if you're interested in the spiritual side of what I do, I am a New Orleans psychic medium. And I have my page on Facebook, which is Willow Mechant Spiritual Services, and also another page called Divine Source Spiritual Center. Also, I have another channel if you're interested in that spiritual side of stuff, and that is Willow Mechant Divine Magic. I'll put all of those links down below in the description. And until next time, stay healthy and be blessed.